Hi everybody, Russ and my Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. For your channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you may have any time we put new content on. As always, like to thank our lovely channel sponsors, Untitled. Check them out in the description below. Today's guest, big West Ham fan, it's Lee Greenwood. Hi Lee, how are you, man?
How you doing, Russ? All good, thank you. Very good.
How are you in general, in yourself? You well?
Yeah, had enough of lockdown now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the golf courses opening hopefully next week. So, yeah, been working from home for a long time now, so just want to get out.
Yeah, innit? No, it's so true. It gets to the point, you know. I think when we saw, I think the first bit of lockdown was relatively painless. I think because it was like 30 degrees, wasn't it? And it was like you didn't have to travel to the office, but you could go in the garden. And yeah, as soon as the nights draw in, it got trickier and it got harder.
Without doubt. Yeah, without doubt.
But yeah, and it should. I think it's going to turn out quite nice. I think Tuesday. This will go out on Monday. I think Tuesday. I think around sort of London, Essex, it's going to be hitting 20s. So that's perfect for golf, isn't it?
Some of the golf courses around this way are booked out for weeks now. I think everyone's took up golf.
Instagram and Twitter and all the footballers and all the ex-pros, they're all starting to get their little tents out, their little, and doing their swings and stuff on Instagram. So, yeah, make my job a lot harder because they'll have something to do now. So they're not at home twiddling their thumbs wanting to talk to me about West Ham.
Do you play yourself?
Do you know what? I used to play quite a bit. And then my daughter came along and I haven't played for about eight years. I reckon
it takes up a lot of time, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. And then with football, with West Ham and stuff as well, it's like. But saying that, she did take a somewhat of a passing interest at the summer before last. So obviously, I went out and got her like golf clubs, and we went down the driving range, and because I thought this is perfect. And I think she might
lose interest a month later.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. I'm looking in my garage now. I've got a drum kit in front of me. That Ben went and gone. It's like all these things she loved to do for about 5 minutes, and we want to encourage her, and then she gives up after 5 minutes and stuff. But maybe in the summer, maybe I might take because she likes a good walk. So it's it's a good walk golf. So
good for that as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but apart from that, and regardless of what happens, whether the golf courses are open or not, West Ham is still fifth. So,
brilliant, mate. We're doing brilliant. I can't believe we've missed it all.
It's typical, isn't it? It's typical.
I'm awaiting the lower half finish next season when we all go back.
We all go back. There we go back already. We've got our bibs on, ready to dine on this football. Ready for this. This feast of football, and then we'll probably lose the first 10 games. And be like, oh, for God's sake,
West Ham all over.
It's so true. It's so true. But I mean, as you said, it's with everything that's going on in the world, West Ham we don't have to worry about, and it's been a welcome distraction. So much so that I'm like, I hate international weeks, like breaks. I hate them, and I'm sitting here like just bored. Like I'm bored of England.
That game last night, it was just an attack against defence, wasn't it? It was just so one-sided.
I just find them so like. I'm such a fair weather England fan. I really am. So I literally won't give a shit until maybe, they get through to the group stage, out the group stages. Then I'll be, all face painted and I'll be proper into it. But I really just don't. I literally, the only thing I look at, if Deck's playing or Jesse now, making sure that, if they got subs, they didn't get subbed because they were injured. They got subbed, just for a tactical thing. That's fine. Suchek, he's all right. He played,
he
good.
Didn't have his shooting boots on last night, Jesse, did he? He had so many chances.
Tried, didn't he? Tried so hard. But it was great to see him back. It was great to see him in the squad again. And, and it sort of, I think it suits him, doesn't it, being in an England squad? It just goes hand in hand. So, it proves to him that he doesn't have to be at Man United to get back in the England team. He's nominated for Player of the Month as well. So he won Man of the Match as well yesterday, apparently, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You can just see the extra confidence he's got by playing for us every week. Straight away.
It's chalk and cheese, isn't it? It's chalk and cheese. And it's like, I mean, you obviously you've lived through many eras at West Ham, and and when you get a really good player. like not just a good a top player. They just
Yeah.
look so like out of place. You know, he turned up. I remember that Villa game. You know, he hadn't played for God knows how long, and
played the whole game, didn't he? Yeah.
Played the whole game, ran everyone ragged, like real intensity, running after everything, and it's just like, you know, this is who we should be playing. You know, this is the type of guys we should be getting. So
let's say we can keep hold of him, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think you know, he's like his approach, he's knocking on 30, but he ain't played a lot of games. Do you know what I mean? No. You know, I always I compare him to my Mini Cooper. So my Mini Cooper's about 11 years old, but it's only done 25,000 miles. What he does is what he used to do was drive to Upton Park and back, or drive to London Stadium and back.
Yeah.
So it's plenty more miles on that clock, you know. So it's the same as Jesse, I think.
Same with him,
it's good. I mean, it's just good. You know, it's just. I don't think it's going to be like a one season wonder. This team now. Do you know? It seems like it's where before. Obviously, the last season at Bowling and various others, it was a one season wonder. You know, this is our best season since we left the Bowling, and that was 5 years ago. So
I think we've always had a couple of positions a week over the last 10 years, I'd say. And this year, you can literally go through our whole 11, and there's not really any weak links anywhere. And I think that's been the biggest thing this season.
It's true, and it's like, you know, but there's what I like is it's the squad. So even like, you know, nowadays we don't even necessarily know the 11 that Moyes is going to play. You can probably guess about 8 of it, I reckon. But there's always one or two places you go, oh, okay, you know, just a few. And if we don't know, the opposition aren't going to know either. They're not going to know whether they're going to play 4 at the back, 3 at the back, whether Ben Rama's going to play, whether it's going to be Lingard, whether Fornals is back. You know, so there's all this tinkering, which I really like about the team at the moment.
And the players that are coming on, the Lanzinis and the Bowens and the Ben Ramas, there. I mean, they would have been our best players 3 or 4 years ago, and now they're struggling to even get in the first 11 now. So it shows how much it's improved.
Exactly, that's a testimony to how good our squad is, isn't it? You know, the fact that these guys can, you know, to be honest, Lanzini is a bit player now, and as you said, he was 2-3 years ago, he was the man. He was the one we were hoping was going to be our jewel, our diamond, you know, and no, it's weird when you think about that. Yeah, it's weird. But I mean, it's great.
Think we'd be if we had a decent, if we had a good centre forward, would be. I mean, Antonio's done fantastic, but he's not a forward in my book.
No.
So
no, it's not.
If we had an out centre forward, even more dangerous. So.
Totally, we'd be really dangerous with a striker up front. You know, like a proper striker. No disrespect to Antonio, but you know, it's true. He's like, you know, he's done well to help out, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, you look at someone like Ollie Watkins at Villa, or even Tammy Abrahams at Chelsea, someone like that, you know, would
do a good job for us, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think he would do, and he would. You know, even if he converted, I mean, I think we've hit the post 19 times this season. I reckon about 16 of those are Antonio's. And so, you know, 4 or 5 of them being converted, we would have been another 6 or 7 points, you know, because it's you know, very, very close, those games. So, look, wherever we finish this season, it's been a great season. And it's now, for me, it's where we finish next season I'm bothered about now. Because I think this season is sort of
exactly,
I think it's going to tail off, but, you know, we might get into Europa League. That's great. That'd be great for the club, be in European football. I don't think we'll be in Champions League, but I never really thought we would be in Champions League.
No, I expected that.
No, exactly. So, knowing our luck, Tottenham will win the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal will win the Europa League, and then we'll finish 5th and not get into Europe. That can happen. That can happen because Tottenham would then get the conference place, and then Arsenal will go into the Europa League. Will win the Europa League, go into the Champions League, which means 4th place would get the 5th place Europa Cup spot.
Brilliant. That'd be our luck.
You know it's going to happen. So it'd be so West Ham, but I don't care.
We've seen that. We've had a couple of glimpses of this over the years, and we've had like a 5th and a 7th, I think. But we never always a one season wonder. We never push on from that. And I think now we've got such a much better squad than we've ever had. We're probably two or three players maximum away from being a top 8 side consistently, I'd say now.
Yeah. No, totally.
We just got to hold on to the Rices and the Součeks and build around them now.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think it's a building. It's a project, and guys are coming on board with this project. Someone like, I mean, obviously, someone get someone like Souček in. Yeah, it wasn't a punt, but it was, he was coming over from the Czech Republic. He was always going to come to a Premier League club, because obviously the money's better. But then to get someone like Jesse Lingard, to me, that's a real sort of statement of intent, because he is, he's an international quality player. You can see what a good player he is, but the fact is he seems to be happy at West Ham and seems to want to stay at West Ham. That to me speaks volumes in terms of where we're going as a team. And even now when we're getting linked to players, it's not players from, no disrespect to like Hull or anything like that, but it's not players from there now. We're being linked to people from Napoli, and probably we're not going to get these people, but it shows where people are looking at us better than they maybe did do 18 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, the Premier League's shown around the world, doesn't it? I mean, people look at the league table, see all of a sudden they're seeing West Ham in 6th, 5th. I mean, it's good for the club in all ways, really. Yeah.
Definitely. No, it definitely is, my friend. No, it is. And so long may it continue as next year. And I think we are, as I said, I think that Moyes is the right bloke for what we need. We need this sort of building period, but with some success sort of put into it. Some people, Arteta obviously was, he was building a team and they weren't doing very well, but he was building it, so he was okay. Whereas I think that doesn't work with West Ham. If he's building a team and we're in relegation, he'll be off. So at least there's some sort of, it's a double-edged sword really, but there's a project definitely. And Christ, if he can do what he did to Everton with us, then I'm all for that. All for that. So first question. 12 minutes in, is why West Ham, Lee? Why is West Ham your club, man?
Right. This might be a first for your channel. Have you ever had anyone that wasn't a West Ham fan when they started watching football?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. We've had people who weren't fans of West Ham. They weren't fans of anyone. And they kicked about, knocked the ball about in the estates, and then supported West Ham. But not anyone who wasn't. So yeah.
Yeah. So I first sort of got interested in football when I was about 7, probably something like that. And my team was Liverpool. don't hold it against me. So obviously at that time they was winning everything, and Ian Rush was my sort of idol at that age, and Dalglish and all them sort of years. And I've always lived in Hornchurch, so everyone around here was always West Ham, so they couldn't see where I was coming from. But Liverpool for the first couple of years of my football watching career. So that's a strange one for you, probably.
It's a new one,
yeah. So started playing football myself when I was 8 for a team called Pegasus.
I know Pegasus,
around the Hornchurch area, And then when I was 10, I got scouted to play for West Ham. Got scouted to play for West Ham and started training at Chadwell Heath, and like all the youth team or all the players that have come through the youth team did, and part of the training scheme was they used to give you 2 season tickets. So me and my dad, my dad's been a West Ham fan all his life. He used to go in the more Peters and Hurst days and all that. We used to start going West Ham every week in the old North Bank standing at Upton Park.
Wow,
and everyone used to be queuing up, thousands of people, and I went in a little entrance on the side, straight in. So I was VIP. Like a little VIP. And so I just started going every week from then on, really, and then got the bug for it.
Yeah. I know it's one of those things with it is. I suppose it is. Yeah, once you've got the bug, very much. With a COVID, obviously once you get COVID, you get COVID. But it's true. Once you get it, you get it. Once you get West Ham, you're in. There's not many. I haven't interviewed anyone yet, Lee, who's gone. I went to the first game and it was all right. Everyone was like, I went and that was it. I'm done. I'm in. So it's.
We used to walk past our newsagents, and there was always milk crates outside that used to hold bottles of milk. And we used to take one of them, and then I used to stand on that. I'm now 6'4", so I don't need to do that anymore. Those were the days. I just remember going in there, and it was just, shoulder to shoulder, just packed. I mean, people now wouldn't even recognise them days, but I just loved everything about it from then on, really.
Yeah, once you're in, it, and you're right. Although I did read the other day that is it City are looking to include safe standing sections now?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea if it's safe. Yeah,
I remember back in the old girl, there was potential plans for them to put it in the old girl, but it never got through. I think a lot of clubs were looking at it back in the day, like 6 or 7 years ago. They were looking at bringing in safe standing, but it never really happened. So yeah. I suppose everyone stands up anyway, really, to be fair, don't they? I mean, they're not meant to, they all do.
I mean, the atmosphere was definitely better back in them days. And even up to when they have chicken run and stuff like that. I mean, you can't really compare it now, but it's definitely a lot safer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, safer, particularly for the youngsters and stuff. For the young, it's less intimidating, I suppose. Even for a young lad, you go to the, Upton Park, and there was 30,000 people there, or whatever. But most of them were standing. It was an intimidating ground. I think now, I'm not saying London Stadium's not intimidating, because I think there's a lot of people there, and it could. But it's as you said, it's more modern. It's more safe. A bit more space as well. A bit more hygienic, a bit more socially distanced possibilities as well than Upton Park. So
a lot of people prefer all that.
Some people don't, but some people do. But I mean, it's just one of those things. And he said, once you get the first game in, that's it. You get the bug, and that's it. And then you blink, and you've been a supporter for the rest of your life. It's
I mean, I was playing on in them times with on Sunday League. I went on to join another team called Heath Park, which was around the Romford area, and I actually played in the same team as Frank Lampard for 3-4 years.
Well, there you go.
So his dad, Frank Lampard Senior, was training me at West Ham, and then so there was a part of it that always thought I need to be a West Ham fan. And the game that finally convinced me was West Ham beat Liverpool. I went West Ham Liverpool. West Ham beat them 4-1. I don't know if you remember. It was the game when Paul Ince scored 2. Liverpool were the champions then. I think it was around 88 or something like that. And then from that day on, it was I'm West Ham now. So
that was it.
I've had the season together since, every year since. So,
brilliant.
That's my story,
and obviously this the last season, the bit's been weird. Obviously, as you said, you've been a season to get older for say the late 80s onwards, basically. For the that's been your life every Saturday, and you haven't been able to go to the ground for for forever, it seems. It must be weird. I mean, it started off being really weird, I'd imagine, seeing West Ham play at home and you weren't there, and now it's sort of the normal now. I think horribly. Do you know? It's like you're used to it now.
I mean, even the game the other day, the 3-3 game, the Arsenal game. I mean, if we'd have been there, everyone would have been going crazy for that game. I mean, I was sitting there watching it on the telly, obviously hoping West Ham would win and getting excited, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with it.
We need to get back quick.
Yeah, it's true. We do need to get back quick, and I think it's one of those things where hopefully, if the roadmap works all right, as everyone says, then is it the Southampton game? There should be 10,000 back for the Southampton game, which is great. So. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. I mean,
presume you've still been going every game, have you?
Oh yeah, I've been going every game. Yeah, I've been going. Yeah, I've been.
You're all right.
I've had a car park space every game. It's been great. So yeah. Yeah, no, it has been good, man. I mean, for me, it's one of those things where it has become the normal. And I was talking to a guy about it the other day, actually. I think the last time I went on a train was the Man United game, ever, was the Man United game. The time before that I'd been on a train was the Southampton game. because my office shut down basically and never been back really since. So yeah, it was weird. So it's going to be weird. Maybe that Southampton game having to get the train again, and it's quite funny how it's Southampton as well. It's quite funny how the last game we had a full crowd was the Southampton game, and the next game we'll have hopefully 10,000 is the Southampton. It's funny how these sort of sort of parallels work and. No, we'll see what happens, but 10,000
probably a lot less traffic. A lot less traffic on the A13 though.
There's a lot less traffic on the A13. Yeah. I mean, I'm all church boy, and I reckon I'm back in 30 minutes for London Stadium, which is exactly. Which you're looking double easy on a normal day, but no, I appreciate it. I know a privileged position I'm in, and how loads of people would like to do what I'm doing. So. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But anyway, let's talk about the Hammers 11. So as I said, everyone we get on the channel, bar a couple of people, have given us an 11. So you can pick whoever you want based in terms of criteria, but the only rule is you have to be alive to see them play. That's literally the only rule we have, Lee. Now you've already told me you've changed your formation, which is fine. I appreciate the heads up.
I've spent hours on this. Change your mind about 10 times.
Well, we can do that. That's all good. That's good. So that's what we'll do. So we'll start between the sticks. Who would be in goal for the 11, Lee?
Right. So I'm going for a 3-4-3, as I told you. Between the sticks, I think over the years that's been a position where we've been quite lucky, really. We've had. Obviously, most people say Phil Parkes, but he was before my time, so I didn't really see much of him. But since then, we've had like David James, Adrian, Rob Green, Fabianski. They've all been okay, really. I mean, so I think it's only really been that Roberto's been not good enough overall, really. But the one I'm going to go for is Ludek Miklosko.
Good old Ludo.
Yeah, I just remember when we bought him, early 90s, I think it was. He was just massive. he was big. He could kick the ball from like one penalty box to the other. I mean that was quite rare in those days. And, I remember he was like a Czech Republic international at the time, which was a lot rarer than it is now. To get them sort of players.
He's now. I mean, it's to not have any sort of outside of the UK international players in your team, you'll have it'll be it's the norm now, isn't it? Where people just like, oh my god, the Czech Republic. I mean, so much so people thought it was lived near Russia, rather than necessarily the Czech Republic was nowhere near Russia. So it is what it is. But I totally agree.
Yeah, song about him. That's his song, isn't it? About coming from Moscow and all that. I mean, he's not even in the right country. So. But we love that song.
Exactly.
So I just remember him. We was in the old second division then, I think, and we got promoted one year. I think it was like 90 or 91, something like that. And the amount of saves he made, and he must have got us 10, 15 points literally on his own, and got us promoted back to what's now the Premier League. And I think we lost out on the last day. I think Oldham won the league, and we lost out by 1 point or something like that. But we went up, which was the main thing. So that's why he's in goal.
Yeah. And he's a top bloke as well. Lovely guy.
And also when he stopped Man United winning the league, that was a
I mean, it's always Man United. It's always Man United with him, isn't it? So much so that I believe someone mentioned that when United was sniffing around for a play before Schmeichel came in, and there was tentative suggestions that Ludo they was going to put a bid in for Ludo, and I think the presumption was that he wouldn't be able to fuck up their if he's playing for you, it's better being in the tent pissing out than being in the outside pissing in. I think that was basically the idea. But
that game there, I mean, the amount of saves he made from like Andy Cole and. I mean, it was like the Alamo. They were just all over us, but they just couldn't score. And there was such a good atmosphere that day. I remember it. And then Blackburn ended up winning it, and obviously he had the Tony Gale connection and all that. So yeah, it was
and they famously, I can't remember, we interviewed someone from that game, and then they Blackburn basically bought a crate of champagne from the bar in. So they just phoned up West Ham bar and bought like some champagne in to say thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
I think they'll love us forever for that. Anyway,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course, and that's why United hate us. That's why they still hate us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Ludo's in goal. So we've got a back three now. Who's the first one of the three?
So on the left-hand side of the back three, this was the easiest, the second easiest choice out of the whole team. Julian Dicks, he's got to be. I mean, what can you? I think I've watched 25 of your videos. I think he's in nearly every team.
Pretty much.
Which just shows how good he was.
Including his own one, including his own video.
Yeah,
himself.
Seen it, yeah. But I mean, he's every West Ham fans love, really. Passion, hard working, sort of never even warmed up, just used to come out and be the best player on the pitch most weeks, really. I mean, he's just unbelievable. I mean, it was just unfortunate that Stuart Pearce was around at the same sort of time as him, and he had the England left back position. And I think his disciplinary obviously went against him a little bit, but West Ham fans loved that, didn't they? So he was always getting stuck in, and
I think that's it. It was about just getting stuck in, wasn't it? And there's something special about.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, as you said, if it's a really crap game anyway, and someone puts a tackle in, I mean, no one tackles now, it seems, but but when someone put a tackle in, like a good 50-50, you could hear the clunk of, like around the stadium, just get everyone on their seat and cheer up. And that's what Julian used to do.
That's sometimes all you need, like one tackle, and it gets the crowd up. And then, what West Ham are like, once the crowd's up, it's like having another player.
Crazy, it is crazy, and how he used to do it all the time from left back. That's what I never understood. I
think when he went to obviously ended up going to Liverpool, playing with superstars as it was at the time, and I don't think that really suited him. I think he wanted to be the main man every week, which he was at West Ham, no doubt about it. He was just a fantastic player.
I think he himself, he went there, and I don't think he went there just because it was Liverpool and it was Graham Souness, wasn't it? Wanted him, and Souness was one of his idols, and it didn't work out. And then as soon as he knew that West Ham were coming back in for him, he was like, I'm on my way. I've got my bags. He was like already off. Because that interview he said, Spurs were after him, and he was like, "Oh, Spurs, fuck off! I'm not."
I don't think he'd ever go there.
No.
And obviously the penalties. I mean, I remember one against Schmeichel. Schmeichel was in goal, and I mean, if he'd have got an hand to it, it would have broke his hand. The ball was just travelled so fast, and there was a sort of. I've got a picture of it. There was 3 or 4 guys run from the Bobby Moore lower onto the pitch to celebrate with him. And 2 of them were my mates, so we still got the picture.
Brilliant.
But it was
absolute legend.
Yeah.
Okay, right. We'll put Julian in. Who is next, then, Lee?
Right. So the next 2 are both really centre backs, but I'm sure these three together would keep out most forwards. So one didn't really see the sort of best part of his career, but it's Alvin Martin.
Yeah.
I remember, I think he must have been 37, 38. Me and my mate had a season ticket, front row of the Chicken Run. I mean, you're talking like mid-90s maybe. And I reckon every week we used to come out of the ground and he was man of the match at that age. And I just, what he must have been like when he was in his mid-20s. I mean, obviously he won the FA Cup, went to World Cups with England, 86. But yeah, he was that good when he was 37, 38. So God knows what he was like when he was in his pomp. Obviously didn't see that, but
no, and again, one of those guys who, not from around these parts, so to speak, but became like a adopted Cockney, and obviously still lives around our neck of the woods, Lee.
It's weird how he's still got weird how he's still got a Scouse accent, isn't it?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's weird. Because his grandson is in the same year as my daughter, and I always find it's just always weird. The school fates, and he's there doing a stall. Just like
I think my brother-in-law has seen him in the Archers in Gideon Park a few times.
Yeah, don't surprise me. Don't surprise me. But it's funny. It's like, I'm waiting to. We waiting for the pickup, and he's like four or five people behind me. I'm like, and like my wife's like, why are you gone red? Because it's fucking Alvin Martin there. It's like Alvin Martin. It's like It's like she's like, who? And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think the other thing that stands out with him, he didn't have hardly any pace, but he just anticipated everything. He just anticipated everything, cut everything out. Very rarely lost a header, and he, at that age, that's what made him still be able to play at that age.
Yeah, totally, and that's why I think we had a spate of having slightly older defenders in our squad. I was with him, and a bit obviously Stuart Pearce was 37, and Nigel Winterburn. Obviously, these are fullbacks, but still, they've never relied on pace. It was all about up here and reading the game and stuff, and you never lose that. I mean, Julian was never blessed with pace. I don't ever remember Julian getting skinned by anyone. So
Zola once.
Zola, okay, yeah,
right. That was the only time. Yeah.
That was the only time, but I'm sure he let Gianfranco know next time.
Right.
The
next time. Yeah.
Exactly. You're not doing that again, mate. You're not doing that again. Right. Okay. We'll put Dixie and Martin, Dixie and Alvin Martin. We got one more spot in that back through. We got.
The next one's Rio Ferdinand.
Rio.
I mean, obviously, see every game he ever played for West Ham. Came through the youth, obviously. But I mean, I think the first season he did make a lot of mistakes. I mean, as young, but he never made the same mistake twice. That was the thing with him.
No.
He just learned straight away. He had pace. He was strong. And I think in his second season, I think he won Player of the Year or Hammer of the Year, which is just unbelievable for an 18, 19-year-old or something like that, whatever he was. Obviously went on to... I was gutted when he joined Leeds, which was record fee at the time, I think.
It was.
And then,
it was.
But then he went on to Man United, won everything that he could win. I think he's been to 3 World Cups with England. I've seen him play. I've seen him play up front for West Ham. It is when he was about 18. Blackburn away, he played up front, and you couldn't even tell. You couldn't even tell that he was a defender. I mean, I think he could have played any position on the pitch, really.
He was just an incredibly gifted footballer, wasn't he? And he's just a guy who just oozed class. He was just a classy player, wasn't he? Classy player. And it was gutted him. It was gutting him. It was a shame. Yeah, it was a shame he moved on. But for me, I think it was almost like you sort of all the successes he had when he was at Man United and in England. They were our successes as well, because he sort of came through our academy. So it's almost like. He's sort of okay. Well, he's won the Premier League, but we've really won the Premier League.
I mean, I read a stat once. I think it was a 2008 World Cup or something like that. I mean, I think over half the squad had either come through West Ham or had links to West Ham in some way.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? I mean, all them players we've give away or sold. It just makes you think what could have been, really.
To be fair, we practically did give them away some, when how much Glenn Johnson went for and Joe Cole and stuff. But I mean, we had Tony Carroll doing his.
We don't do it again.
I hope no. As long as number 41 doesn't, then that's fine.
But I mean, even for 100 million, you're not going to replace him. So.
No, I don't think you can. He's irreplaceable, that boy. But we had Tony Carr doing his My Hammers 11, and it was basically the Academy 11, which turned out to basically be the England World Cup 2010 squad. Like 1 to 11, apart from Stephen Bywater, bless him, the rest of them were all played in the World Cup. And it's like, this is just crazy.
I mean, Tony was obviously there when I was on West Ham's book. So
yes,
I know him well, and yeah, I mean, has he got an MBE? He needs an MBE if he hasn't got one already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, services to football. There's no one in the country who's brought on more players than he has.
No, it's incredible. Okay, so we got Julian, we got Alvin, we got Rio. Let's go into the midfield four then. Who's the first one in the midfield four then, Lee?
Any side?
No, you go for whoever you want, man.
Right, so let's get the start. Let's put on the right hand side. It was either going to be Mark Ward or Trevor Sinclair. I've gone for.
Yes.
I mean, I think we got him for about 2 million off of QPR.
Yep.
I mean, he was QPR's best player, so they must have been in financial trouble at the time. We bought him, and what a buy! I mean, he was just up and down that wing all day long. He would just run and run, scored goals, made goals. Yeah, just a good player, really.
Yeah, solid player, and yeah, I love him. I love him as a person. He's a fantastic human being as well, and he's and there's a few. I mean, and obviously I've been very fortunate to interview lots of players, and they all talk about their love of the club, how much they love the club, love the fans, and Trevor to me epitomizes that, because again, not necessarily not Cockney boy, not an Essex boy. He's played for other clubs, he's played for QPR, he's played for City, but when he talks about West Ham, he talks with so much passion that it sort of reasserts your love of the game, because he talks about them so passionately, and sometimes to his own detriment, because he'll say something which people will tear him out on Twitter about or whatever, but it's all from the right place. It's all from the fans' perspective. So, no, I love Trev. Love him.
I think it was. I mean, he was so good for us. He went to the World Cup when he was a West Ham player. 2002, maybe.
2002. Yeah.
I remember the Beckham penalty against Argentina. I mean, he was the first one over there celebrating with him, and I just remember thinking, like, we've got a West Ham player at the World Cup playing for England. That didn't happen for years.
No.
So,
didn't happen very often.
Let's hope Dick can do it next time.
I'm sure he will. Right. Okay. Tricky Trevor's in. Bless him. Who's next? I am.
Yeah, Tricky Trev. Right. So on the other side, on the left-hand side, maybe a bit of a controversial one, but this guy is probably the second best, or the most talented player I've seen all the years I've been going. It's Dimitri Payet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he left under a bit of a cloud and probably only played 50 odd games for us, but I mean, what a player. I mean, the free kicks alone, we've never seen that. I mean, it was almost every time you got a free kick from 20, 25 yards, it was 8 out of 10 whether he was going to score. Not just hit the target. It was
so true.
It was unbelievable. Yeah.
So true.
The one at Old Trafford, the FA Cup quarter final, I was behind that goal, and there was like 7 of us. We all sort of expected him to score. It was 25 yards.
Crazy, isn't it?
And he did.
Absolutely crazy. And it's funny because we interview a lot of people, and a lot of people went to that game, and they must have squashed them all behind that goal, because everyone was behind the goal for that game. It was like that goal.
We should have won. We should have won that day. I mean, they scored a dodgy goal 10 minutes from the end, and then
Man United scored a dodgy goal. Hey, what a surprise!
Yeah, what a surprise! And they'd done us in the replay, but that was a good chance to get to the semi-final, but not to be, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think, I mean, at that time, he went to the Euros with France, and I think he must have been the 3rd best player in the world behind Messi and Ronaldo. And again, it was just good to watch a tournament where he was a West Ham player. It was just a shame the way he left, really. But
it was
more to do with his family and anything.
Yeah, and I think I mean, he's still one of the most. I know Julian's I think he's between Julian and Payet in terms of the most picked players, yeah, because they're neck and neck, but different positions. But a lot of people pick Payet because of the sheer fact of, he was, a Ballon d'Or nominee while wearing a claret and blue shirt, and that is probably never going to happen again. In our lifetime, I'd imagine. He was the man. He was the guy that all your mates who were not West Ham fans wanted in their team, and that doesn't happen very often.
I mean, he could have played for anyone in the Premier League without doubt, and got in their first team. Yeah,
walked into their teams, but he was brilliant.
It just seems to happen all the time with us. We get a good player like that, and then for some reason something happens and they end up going, which is so annoying.
Well, I think it's basically the type of player we pick. So for someone like Payet, I think people forget how he joined us. So basically, he did the same thing to join us as he left us. So left doesn't change their spot. So and actually,
I think I read the other day Marseille asked him to take a pay cut, and then he's refusing to take one. So
there you go. That doesn't surprise me.
Says all about it.
Exactly,
I haven't picked him for that. It's just the quality of the player and the memories for that season, really. Yeah,
and despite him doing that to Marseille, they still welcomed him back with open arms when he came back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like people know, and I think although I know it's not going to ever happen, but if there was something where he did come back, I think he's too old for us now. But everyone would have gone, oh yeah, he's a snake, but let's get him back in because he's that good.
Once someone leaves under them circumstances, I'll never have them back. Don't worry about it. But it was just for that one season.
He was awesome. He was awesome. Right, okay, let's put him in. Right, so you got Sinks on one, Payet on the other. Who's next, my friend?
So we've got fairly attacking players down inside. So the two in midfield are more holding. Okay. First one, Scott Parker.
Yeah, Scotty P.
I mean, it was a running joke between me and my mates. Every home game, the announcer used to say, "Man of the match," and everyone went Scott Parker. Everyone was like, I think he won. Did he win Emery 3 years in a row? I think.
Yeah.
I have to check the records, but I think it's 3 years in a row. At least two, definitely. We got relegated with him in the team, and he won I think it was the Football Writers Player of the Year.
Yeah.
For the whole, I don't know if that was just London clubs or.
No, it's the whole thing. It was the whole thing.
Premier League. Yeah. I mean, it just shows how outstanding he was compared to the rest of our team at the time. Which was, I mean, he was just, again, effort, commitment, passion, goals, a few goals. Everything West Ham fans like, really.
He just put it about, didn't he? He would leave, the expression "leave it on the pitch." He would leave it on the pitch. Whether that means leave it on the pitch, whatever it means, he did it.
Yeah,
he epitomised that. He was literally. I used to see him crawl like literally in the players' car park, like hobbling. He'd run so much for the club.
Yeah, I know.
And it really, the other 10. I mean, the fact that he was always called the captain, and he wasn't even the captain; it was Matt Upson as well. He was always Captain Scott. No, he wasn't the captain, but he acted like a captain. And for me, it's one of my biggest gripes with modern day fans was the sort of animosity for Scott Parker when he left, because he went to Spurs, okay. Yeah. And if it was any other, if it was any of the other 19 clubs, not a problem, because it was Tottenham. It's like, well, then you look into it, and his dad on his deathbed, he said he will play for Tottenham, and okay, well, that itself should mean that you strike any animosity because it's your dad. And he went to prolong his England career. The fact is, he didn't do a Defoe. He didn't put his thing in straight away. He played games in the Championship. He scored in the Championship. He played the day before he was going to Tottenham. He still played. He was committed throughout, and that's all we ask of a West Ham team. Anyone puts a shot on, is they put it in. They leave it on the pitch, and he did it every game. He epitomised what we want as a West Ham player. So exactly. I hope there'll be.
There's that famous story about I think it was West Brom away. We was 3-0 down at half time, and on the verge of getting relegated. And I think he gave the half time team talk, over Avram Grant maybe or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think Carlton. I've heard Carlton Cole say it was like a Churchillian sort of speech, and we got a 3-3 draw. And you just know that if Avram Grant would give that speech, we would have lost 5-0.
No. Yeah.
So that says it all about him, really. I think
totally, it totally does. Right, I put Scotty P in. So who's your last midfielder then, my friend?
My last midfielder, Mr. West Ham. It's got to be Nobes. It can't be anyone else in my book, really. I mean, I've seen people giving him stick in the last 6 months. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. It's just, I mean, no one's going to be as good when they get older as they were when they was younger. I mean, it's just a joke. It's just, But going back to the best part of his career, I've literally seen him come through. I see his debut, 17-year-old. I mean, how many games has he played? 500 or something?
Oh, yeah, 500 something.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I mean, the one thing with him, I think he was never, he probably never had the quality to play for a top side.
No, fair enough, yeah.
Which most people would say. But there was never, in all the years he played for West Ham, there was no one that forced him out of the team. And that he was always first choice over them. So it just shows how many players he was better than them. Over all them years, really.
Definitely. And I mean, you said, I think he had 7-8 managers, something like that.
Yeah.
They
relegations, promotions.
Yeah.
He stuck with us through everything.
Yeah. They all picked him as captain as well, or most of them picked him as a captain. Sometime. So
yeah. I mean, the speech he gave at the last day at Upton Park. I mean, I presume he was there for us.
Yeah.
He, I mean, I had tears in my eyes, really, when he said about West Ham being a family and all that. I mean, that summed up everything about it, really, for me.
Yeah, I mean, that whole season, with Payet, with Noble, with Slaven at the helm, it all just worked. And, I wouldn't have wanted any other player to have been the last person to walk us out at Upton Park and the first person to walk us in at London Stadium. He was perfect, perfect, And the fact that he moved his testimonial so he could play at Upton Park, sort of, stuff like that. I just think, he's going to be. Next season's going to be, I think, interesting. Because obviously being his last season, unfortunately, as a player. But I think it's right. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's right for the team as well. I still think he could play another 2 seasons playing this sort of 20-minute man, like if he literally, Souček and Rice, and then he comes on if we're winning to tie it all up, and play the cup game. And, hopefully if we do go on a European tour next year, European football may suit Mark more. It's a slightly slower pace usually. I think the Premier League is just too quick for him in terms of it's no disrespect to Mark, but when he's on the team sheet, when he's starting, you're thinking,
yeah. I mean, the way Souček and Rice have played this season, I mean, not many players would have been able to get in front of them two. No. So I don't think that's a slight on him. It's just, he's obviously slower than he used to be and all that. But I'm just glad they give him another year so we can say bye to him properly. Really.
Yeah, I mean, he would have. They would have. Even if they would never have not given him a year. But even if they didn't give him anything, he'd have probably just turned up.
Yeah, exactly.
It did just to get that last season, say goodbye to the fans properly. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end next season and stuff.
I think the thing about him, he always made new players. He seems to make new players feel welcome and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, all the foreigners come over, they all seem to love him, don't they? I mean, he must do stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, by all accounts, you got to think some of the players he's played under. Obviously, obviously, Kevin Nolan, you had obviously Scott Parker, you've had Lucas Neal, you had some really strong captains. These guys are really strong. I mean, but not like not necessarily on the pitch, but off the pitch. So we've interviewed guys who have had Nolan as their club captain, and Nolan will be the first person banging on the door, saying to the manager, you need to give this guy a new contract or something like that, or Lucas Neal would go around and collect a percentage of everyone's win bonuses and give it to the kit man, and little things like this, which just mold you as a person, and there's molded Mark as a. I mean, I'm doing a series at the moment where basically I'm going through. He's played with over 200 players at West Ham. And so through his 17 seasons, so we're sort of doing them alphabetically, and some of the players some of them are gash, but some of them are amazing. And so he's played with all these amazing players. So it's no surprising that he takes a little bit of everyone, and just takes that into how he conducts himself. And I think him coming out and announcing that he's signing this 1-year extension was for me the best thing to happen to keep Declan Rice, because for me it gives Declan Rice a roadmap to say, right, okay, you're still team captain, Mark's club captain. Next summer, hopefully, this summer, I'm not worried about him going anywhere this summer because we've had a good season. He's got the Euros. He hasn't got time to think about leaving anywhere, to be honest. And okay, right, next summer, there's the keys. You've got the keys. It's
captain
yours
for the next 10 years.
Exactly. You can be the next, probably more, but you could be the next Billy Bonds. That's you. And the fact that you've already played 100 or so Premier League games already at your age, and the rate of games that so many more games we've played nowadays with Europeans, you could be the one. You could be the fourth stand. I'm not saying that, but in theory, it could easily be. He could have it all. He could be these massive. He could be the poster boy, and so. But I think, and that's taken the decision of Mark to retire. To me, that's really a really noble thing, pardon the pun, to do, because it sort of goes, right, okay, you've got a season with me left now. Fans, get used to it, so it's the most Mark noble thing to do.
Let's hope he retains some sort of role with the club after as well, whether it's a coaching role or.
I think he has to, yeah.
I mean, no one plays for 20 years without being good. So I don't think he gets the credit from a lot of people that he deserves.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree. Right, okay, there's Noble in. So Nobes is in. Right, let's go for this front three then. Who's your first one of the front three?
Yeah, so we're going three up front, right? So we're going Tony Cottee.
TC. You going to the thing in Hornchurch, Lee, in the Conservative Club?
I haven't heard about it, to be honest. What's that?
It's a Conservative Club. I don't know what it is in the middle of the thing.
Yeah.
They're doing it's in June, I think. I think it's June. It's TC, Macca, and Mark Ward.
Oh wow. Yeah, send me the details. I'll be there.
Yeah, Conservative Club. I'm not the commissioner or anything. I just thought you put TC and I thought, he's from Hornchurch anyway.
I love anything like that. Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. So Tony Cottee, why do you love Tony Cottee?
So I think I was thinking about it the other day. I think he's still, even now, the most natural finisher I've ever seen at West Ham.
Yeah, well, it's a close between him and Jonathan Kaleri, but yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, there's what we call them notable absences. The other ones that deserve a mention, is it? Yeah. I've got down Dean Ashton, obviously.
Yeah,
was looking like being the next Shearer until the injury. Obviously, McAvenny, Defoe, Hearts, and they're the main ones for me. But Tony Cottee, I just remember, obviously, West Ham fan, scored on his debut when he was 17 or whatever and all that. Obviously, didn't see all that, but he was just always in the box, which is something that's gone out of the game a bit now. I think something that Antonio could probably watch. I mean, balls king about, come off people, off the post. He was always in the right place. Just tap it in, and he'd score 15 to 20 goals every season without fail.
Yeah,
even when we weren't even that good.
No, but that shows a good player. That shows a good striker. A consistent striker. That you can put him down for 15 goals already a season from the 1st of August, and sometimes it might be a bit more, and sometimes it might be a lot more. But 15 goals, and you're right. That sort of fox in the box is a role which I think is redundant now in football. Now, unfortunately, just don't get it.
If we had him now, we would be top 4 in the side we've got at the moment. To be honest,
definitely with TC.
The amount of chances we create at the moment, we just need someone to put them away. And as well as Antonio's done, he's not a natural striker, in my opinion.
No, he's not. No, you're right, man.
Hopefully, we'll sign someone like him in the summer. But yeah, I remember he obviously left to go to Everton, which was a record fee as well. And I don't think he really wanted to go. Obviously, being a West Ham fan and that, but you couldn't really blame him at the time. And then came back, and he was just as good when he came back. Really, he's just a natural finisher.
Yeah, he's. I think for me, he just. I think it was. I mean, obviously, I never saw him in his first period. I saw him in his second period, but obviously, the legend of Tony Cottee. And you're right; he was just had a knack of scoring, and certain players do, don't they? They just have a knack of being in the right place, at the right time, and anticipating. And TC was it, And I totally agree. I mean, you probably him. I mean, for me, I never saw really TC in his pomp, but obviously Defoe, is similar. I mean, I always thought Hernandez was going to be the guy. I thought Hernandez was going to be like our new TC, but he never worked out. But it's just he was an incredible player, and as a West Ham fan, and when there's a fan playing, same as Nobes and people like that, when you got a fan on the pitch, you don't have to worry about them being committed because they're going to be committed, and
I mean, still obviously our best ever finish, the 85-86 with Macca. I think they got over 40 goals between them.
Yeah, something like that.
But if we had that now, we'd be laughing.
Yeah. Oh no, it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Right, let's put TC in. Who's next, my friend?
Yep. Another slightly controversial one, maybe, because didn't play that many times for us, but Carlos Tevez.
Carlitos.
And this is all based on literally one day. which sounds a bit weird. But I remember when we bought him. I mean, I was at work and it came through on the radio or whatever it was. Then we're getting him a Mascherano. I mean, I don't think my phone stopped going all afternoon. Like West Ham fans just couldn't believe they was signing for us. To like Corinthians or something like that. I think they was from Argentinian or Brazilian teams, and everyone was like, "That's not going to happen," and all that. And then to sit and turn up, having their picture taken at the ground and all that, it was just unbelievable. And then he started playing, and I would say for the first 15 games, he was very average. Put him mildly. Hardly done a thing. He was slightly overweight. And we was all like, "Oh, we've been duped again." And then scored a free kick against Tottenham. And I remember him running and jumping in the West Lower, and the fans were all over him. And then from that day forward, he was just fantastic. Basically, kept us up on his own.
Yeah, he did.
Just spurred everyone else on. Everyone else raised their game. And then the day that stands out for me with him was obviously the last game of that season, the great escape at Old Trafford. I think Man United had won the league already, so they rested a few, and we watched it in the Good Intent pub in Old Church.
Yeah,
we went. There was a load of us in there watching it. I didn't actually go to the game, but a load of us in there. And for about 2 months before, one of our mates' dads, Tom, rest in peace, he's died now, but he was saying, if West Ham stay up, I'm buying everyone champagne. And we was in the GI watching it, and everyone knows what happened. I think with 20 minutes to go, they brought on Giggs, Scholes, Beckham, and the last 10 minutes was just like the Alamo again. But we managed to hold on, and he obviously scored the goal. And old Tom had to go up the bar and order a bottle of champagne from the GI, and the woman just looked at him like he was mad. I don't think they'd ever sold one.
Oh, but have we got one? Have we got one somewhere? There's a bottle of Moet covered in dust.
To the cellar.
Had to go to that off license near the Sunshine.
Yeah, she dusted it off. We drank it, and we left it closing, and Tom, I think he hit every column as he walked out. We was all so drunk, but what a day, really. Funny. And that's just the memories of Carlos Tevez for me.
That's what I mean. It's stuff like that, isn't it? Football's about those memories, isn't it? And that's the one frustrating thing, as you said, this season is just like, it's such a great season, but we haven't had those opportunities to have these memories which will keep in our, keep us the rest of our lives. And it was one game, and it's funny with Carlos Tevez, I almost see parallels to Benrahma. Where, as you said, Benrahma was like, he's trying. I mean, Carlos was he was trying so hard to score, for West Ham. He was almost trying too hard. And I think sometimes that's the case with Benrahma. He was trying too much to score. He's so desperate. But once that first goal comes in, it's going to be an avalanche. And he was, I
think what it was, he saw that goal against Tottenham. I think he saw what it meant to the fans and how much we love beating them. And then from that moment, he was all in after that. And I mean, I think he lost half a stone by the week after.
He was taking it seriously then. I think that's what Anton, I think, when I interviewed Anton, said. He said, literally, when after that game, Carlos realised what it was like to be a West Ham fan and understood it. And so, it makes perfect sense. But okay, we got Cotti, we got Tevez. Who's the last spot going to, my friend?
And there can only be one. I said Payet was the second most gifted player I've seen. This guy's the first. Paolo Di Canio. Again, probably in most teams, I would have thought. For anyone that went in them years, I mean, he was just a genius. Skill on the ball. Every time. Did you go to the game when Messi played at Upton Park for Argentina?
Yeah. I was doing the sound for that. It was my international. Was it my international debut? Because that was the England versus Australia game. But it was I went to that game. Yeah.
And every time Messi got the ball, the anticipation in the crowd that he was going to do something. That's what it was like with Di Canio. You just expected something to happen, which none of the other players could do. It was just flash, but backs it up. And again, all the passion and the same with like Dixie and that, the passion and everything that goes with West Ham. Like he had it. 1.5 million from Sheffield Wednesday, absolute joke. I mean, we only got him because he pushed the ref over and all that.
Exactly.
Harry Redknapp doing his wheelie dealing, but I mean, it's got to be the best signing West Ham's ever made in their history. I would have thought.
One of them. Must be one of them. Yeah, must be one of them.
And also the best goal I've ever seen at West Ham. I think
21 years today.
Yeah, I see it this morning, Russ. I see it on Twitter. Yeah, makes me feel old.
21. Yeah, it does. It does.
But
and that was obviously
one of them goals. There's a 2 or 3 second pause in the crowd where everyone goes, "Did that happen?" It was one of them.
It's when there's a good. That's what. That's going to. I think it might have been TC or Macca, and they said that it's the best goals are when there's not a crowd reaction straight away. It's when there's that delay where everyone's gone, "Fuck, it's a goal," and that's when you know it's a good. That's when it's a goal. But 21 years ago. That's
I think he got voted. I think he got voted goal of the season on Match of the Day. I think probably the only West Ham player that's done that. I think.
Good shout, quite possibly. Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, with that goal, it was just because that was Freddie Canute's debut. I remember that, and so I felt really sorry for him.
I remember Sinclair crossing it.
Yeah, I remember Sinclair crossing it. I remember, we interviewed Ian Foyer, the goalkeeper, and he'd spent 3 or 4 hours with Di Canio after training on Friday practicing it. Because he had it in his head, which is what he wanted to do. That's what, and apparently, I haven't seen the footage. You can't see because they don't show it. But apparently, when Paolo scored, when he was running down the touchline, he goes to Ian and like jumps in his arms and says, "That's for you." But I don't. But I haven't seen that, Ian. I haven't seen that. I still beg. I have not seen that bit of footage. But incredible. Just incredible man.
I mean, you only got to listen to if you listen to the commentary from I think it was Andy Gray doing it then. I mean, they're just sort of a bit speechless by it. Just sort of takes your breath away for a few seconds, really. Goals like that.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, generally overall, we're just an absolute maverick. The best player I've seen up to now.
Yeah, phenomenal player. And that's the team, Lee. Let me bring it up. There we go. We go. Take Paolo off. That's it, man. God,
we'll do all right there. We'll do all right there.
We'll do all right there. You'll be with that front three. You're not going to get much crosses into the box, let's be honest. But yeah, you'll be first to match the day.
Keep it on the floor.
Keep it on the floor. We're West Ham.
Hopefully, Souček and Rice and Soufal can cover these positions in a few years' time.
Yeah. Sounds good. Lee, man, thanks for your time, buddy. It's been real fun. God, when did that time go?
No problem.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And obviously, thank you to everyone for watching. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those jabs when you get your appointments. Come on, you Irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Come on, you Irons. Take care, everyone. Much love.